Salutations! I'm stealing your intro. No, just kidding. Welcome. This is a little video to address some points that you brought up in your Tales of Maj'Eyal video, which I'm very excited to see. I know you hate it so far, but it's all right. I think it gets better if you get into it. But I can see where you're coming from. The UI at some points is absolutely a pain in the ass. So I'm not gonna get like. Don't worry about it. It's not taken as I think you're justified in complaining about the things you're complaining about, is what I'm trying to get at. I started off a little new character. It's same race, same class as the one you had in your video. I just wanted to show a few things, and since a lot of the visual aspects of the game kind of tended to be what was jarring for you, I figured, rather than a post, a little bit of a visual rundown would be more in order. So that's what we've got going here. I apologize if there's a bunch of pauses. I got my notes open on the side. And I'll try to make this snappy though, so that it's just a little bit of a rundown. I'm not a full tutorial or anything. So first things first, I wanted to show this because I don't have these addressed. There's an option somewhere in the options, finally left, where you can disable the thing where the game automatically assigns points to you at the beginning. I think you had this, and this, and then you put 2 more points? No, it was like this, right? That's a default thing that the game does. You can disable that. You might want that flexibility. You might not. I don't know. That's just telling you that that's something you can do. And because I have that disabled and I just put these points in, they're in yellow border. You see where I invested? That's in yellow border. Actually, let me do that. Okay. Thank you. Okay, but if I go back here, it'll be no, it won't be right now because there's an enemy. And also, I have this running in windowed mode, and I realize now I can't see my abilities at the bottom. Oh gosh, BRB. And we're back. Evidently, the resolution does mess with the toolbar down here. What the heck? In a very strange way. But yeah, so I can't do that while I have an enemy on screen. Let me assign a talent. Is that not? Oh my god! I'm trying to explain things and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. That's a good start. Basically, there can't be any enemies going on screen for this to work. So I'm going to rest a little while. But if you're out of combat, the little blue icon here indicates that you can remove these. I just wanted to. It took a while to get to that, but I just wanted to let you know that you could remove these so that you're not locked into whatever the game starts you with at the beginning. There's a handful of abilities that once you put a point in. You see at the top of the description there on the right, written in yellow, this talent can alter the world in permanent ways, such it can never be unlearned. Those you can't remove, but most of them you can remove. In this column, in the class talents, up to, where does it say? Up on the top there, it'll say up to 4 of them can be removed, the 4 latest, and in the generic points, up to the latest 3 can be removed. Okay, and let's try to get it to where I have actual abilities. Sure, I'll put these. Why not? Yes, where did it put my things? Okay. I'm not sure why it doesn't assign. Usually if you learn a new ability, it gets assigned. Oh my god, really? Really? It used to be T. No, it's V, that's right. Okay. Yeesh, all right. I don't use the alchemist a lot to be quite honest. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. But these are just supposed to be some tips and pointers. So okay. The other things I wanted to show is that you can move these around. It is as you detected that you can just move them around, but only one at a time. It can be annoying. One saving grace I will say is that if you have if you started a new character later, like you get your icons, your talent icons at the bottom, like exactly where you want them. If you start a character later that is of the same class, they'll be at the same location. So you don't have to do it every time. It's kind of like you have to do it that one time and then afterwards get it to where you're comfortable with them and they'll kind of mostly be there. The only exception is if you did an alchemist but of a different race, the Shalor specific things won't be where they were. There's just going to be new racial talents somewhere on the bottom line. But just to let you know that you once you set them, they'll mostly stay there. Another thing that I like to do is I have I tend to use the mouse, and I don't know if this is a good practice for you, but I have the buttons that let you change the hotkey pages handy. I rerouted them, but I think you could easily keep them to page up, page down, and change the thing. And what I do is I tend to keep things that are activatable things or like sustains things I don't have to worry about too much most of the time. That are not frequent usage is what I'm trying to say. I just keep them off by one page and just like refer to them once in a while. And so like this is my main page, and I'll just like switch over to the things where I can interact with my golem and stuff like that. Yeah. Uh, I have in my notes the logs, but I'm not sure what I meant by that. I think. Oh yeah, okay. Game log. If you press H, it brings up the log, which is right now filled with me changing hotkeys. Um, this is where you can check the game log. You can hover over things and it'll give you the stats. You can go into the global. I don't know, but I don't know what a lot of these are. The tome is like the chat. You can ask questions here. Usually you get an answer. Sometimes it's somebody preaching about the correct way to do things. Take it with a grain of salt as well. But there you go. And removing talent points. Oh, that's the first thing I did. Okay. A few keys that I think are useful is Z, home, and tick mark. Not tick mark. I think it's apostrophe. The one immediately to the left of enter. Immediately to the left of enter is what you would press to go downstairs. Rather than having one button for up and one button for down, like in Dungeon Crawl, it's just that's the interact with change level. It's that button. Z is auto explore, so you can see we've auto explored barely anything, and there's an enemy here, which is a perfect start or setup to explain why channel staff sucks right now. Let me see. Was there something else I wanted to? I feel like there was something I took note of that I wanted to explain that required the presence of enemies. Oh no, it's for the debuff icons, which yeah, the freezing thing doesn't give you a debuff icon. Okay. Oh yes, okay. I wanted to show this. You can use mostly just keyboard. I've never made the transition over myself. Because I started this game with the mouse, so I got used to it. But I've seen people play that seem like they use just the keyboard. And the way that you do that, it would just be like without having your mouse interfere with anything. So have it, I don't know, off on the side somewhere. Like if I pressed my channel staff, it automatically targets something. And if there was another enemy right now, just press enter or just reactivate the ability itself. Oh no, you have to press enter. Okay. But so you can do it that way. It'll automatically target, and you can switch. If I can find multiple enemies, let's see here. Is that multiple enemies? Enemies, please be plentiful. Oh no, Golem's killing them too fast. But but the point is, if you activated an ability and it auto-targeted onto something, you could press directions, and it would be pretty accurate in detecting the next enemy in that general direction that you've clicked on. Oh, okay, let's try this. Okay, so does this work? Is there an enemy down here that I can't see? I can't scroll because I'm in windowed mode. This is a little bit of a tragic tutorial. I can't do the stuff I'm used to doing. So I'm not sure where that fire crystal went that teleported off of this direction. But yeah, so just know that you could do that. Just try it out, and you'll get a better feel trying it out than listening to me anyway. So there you go. Okay. Why channel staff? Is what it's called? Yes, channel staff. Why does it suck right now? It sucks because any class that uses any sort of thing in their hands to do damage will have some kind of talent like this at some point. Staff Mastery is the one for staffs. There's one for melee weapons, basically all of them, and then there's a separate one for daggers, and then there's a separate one for bows. Some classes have unique ones that combine different weapon types that they're meant to be using. I won't worry too much about that, but the point is that all of them generally have a staff or a weapon insert type mastery. This increases, as you can see, the weapon damage by a percentage, and physical power while using that by 30. That's a significant damage boost, so that having just this without this, it's pretty dinky at the start. It doesn't get massive, I don't think. I tend never to use them, not because it's not good. I can't speak to it not being good. It's more that I never play the alchemist, to be quite honest. Like, and if I play the archmage, I'm doing so much big AoE stuff that I'm not worrying about the little like single target staff. That's mainly the reason. If it can be good, it would be on the alchemist, because you have like longer cooldowns on your throw bomb and not that many other spells to use. But so I'm not discouraging you from using it. I'm just telling you that if you want to use it, you will want staff mastery. Okay. One thing I noticed. Okay, while we're on the topic of staffs, I have this routed here, the command staff. Oh, we have enemies in the way. Hang on. Let's get rid of these enemies first. We're just having a conversation while these crystals are trying to shoot us down. Golem, go do the thing. Okay. So, and as you can see, the golem is completely disappeared right now. He's used knockback. The golem has used knockback on something. This is one thing that you do have to kind of get used to. But I would say that it's similar to DCSS. Whenever I've used DCSS summons of any kind, like the snakes that came out of the arrows there, or any kind of summons, they're easy to lose track of, but it comes with learning the kind of visual normalness of the game, that you figure out where he probably went. Like, we know that there's two enemies here. We know that he has a charge ability. Oh, by the way, he has a charge ability. So he's probably went from where he was last turn to just dive down there, and he can do his own thing for a little while. We won't worry about him. So, about the staffs. Let's look at the inventory first. Oh, we did find a staff. Okay. Elm Star Staff. Elm is the quality type. It's like the first tier of thing. I think then it goes Ash. There's like Elvenwood or Dragonbone, and then I don't know too much exactly off the top of my head, but it affects a bunch of these stats that you have here, right? So this being a completely unenchanted staff, you can get a sense for what types of stats you get from a staff. They'll get better from the tier, and then the modifiers like Illumination will add special things on top of that. Like, for example, this one adds defense. The normal staff doesn't come with defense, and it gives you an Illumination ability that you can use. So that's cool. But the big thing as pertained to channel staff is, you see at this one, right under the yellow part and at the lower description where it says when wielded worn, changes damage plus 10% light. This one, what does it say? 10% physical, changes damage plus 10%, right under the defense in this case. That is what changes when you use command staff. You have these different mage aspects, and with it, like here, you could change the damage boost you get from darkness, blight, acid, cold, different aspect. Fire, cold, lightning, arcane. So you see we have cold twice. That's just because lore-wise the game decided that both mage and bone category have cold in them. It's just a thing, but like basically you choose out of all of these the damage type that you want to be boosting with your staff. Right now I have light damage being boosted. I don't do any light damage. It's completely useless. But just know that you can do that, and that damage percent increase affects all of your damage, not just the channel staff ability. So like this, since oh, I don't even have it active, do I? I don't have it active. So I'm gonna put that in my sustains. V. I thought it was T, but it's V. Because you'd think T for talents, but it's V. Did I not take a level of that? Oh yeah, there, Flame Infusion. Okay, so I'm gonna put that there. I'm gonna activate it, and now all my stuff does flame damage. So it's a very good idea to get fire. Anywho, so just a little quick rundown of that. These other things, I'll be honest, I have no goddamn clue, because again, I've never used Alchemist. I saw you took this. I think this means that, yes, okay, so the Alchemist Agate that you start with does bomb damage plus 5%. It is an Alchemist Agate. You will find Agates, but you cannot use those agates. Just like you cannot use these zircons, citrines, or you can't use these for throwing right now. What you need to do is basically use this on one of these gems, and then you get an alchemist version of that gem. So now you've got 71 alchemist zircon. So 20% chance to daze for 3 turns instead of the 5% damage boost when I throw a bomb that has these. That sounds pretty good, actually. So yeah. All right. Status effects icons. Well, okay, I don't have a status effect. There's not a lot that can status affect me in this area. Oh, go Golem, go! Unless you die. Let's actually wait and see how he does. Okay, now he's alright. There was another thing about pressing G for items that are under you when in combat. Because you won't auto pick up in combat, but I think you figure that out. So, okay, there's a lot of enemies here. Let me do the thing. So I got Channel Staff. I just activate it, and then if I do like top left, it'll go to that next target, and if I do just bottom down, it'll go to there. So you can use the keys for that, and that's why like if you want to do how to say the hotbar the way that it is, right? You can change that. I don't quite know how to do it, but I know that some people have it so that it's like three rows high, and it's basically all of the hotkeys, and then you can start using QWER and stuff like that, and things that are not mapped, or just customize the whole thing if you want. If you just want to use like the left of your keyboard for abilities or whatever, you know, but you can have it all on screen at the same time for quick reference and use the keyboard for that. And if you want to aim differently, you know, then with a mouse you can do it with that as well. So just know that. Yeah. Checking my my notes. Oh, status icons. I didn't quite finish that thought because okay, under the map here, that's where you get status icons. Right now, this is a positive one. It's the sustain that you have, but this is where things will appear at like burning or what was it that came up in the video? Yeah, when you had the spell blaze scar when you stepped in that spell blaze thing. That's where it would show up. You did find an alternate way of seeing it in character sheet over here. That is completely, you know, it's completely equivalent. It's completely the same thing. But yeah, you can have a quick reference here, and you can hover over him. I just wanted to point that out. Anything on the character sheet that I need to point out that would be handy? List of talents. Okay, this, you know, I mean, you already know your talents most of the time, but you can check enemy or other people's talents by doing this. They don't have any. Interesting. I know that they have something. No, they don't. So I don't know how they teleport around without a talent. But okay, inspect creature. So if this were an enemy, you would still see this. So you'd have a sense of what talents they can throw at you. It's handy if a little bit clunky in terms of like, it's a lot of reading when you just want to see what one enemy can like offer in terms of threats. It's a lot of reading for that. But it is a thing. It is a thing like that. That is available. One thing that comes to mind now, because you did mention it briefly, the stat blocks are huge. This is so much crap that like, 70% of this, I would say, is completely irrelevant to the Alchemist class, right? The Alchemist class might care about the damage if they're using the channel staff. Damage type physical, staff mastery, blah, blah, blah. Armor penetration, you don't... A mage does not care about that. Crit chance, that's the melee crit chance. And I'm reading everything in the first kind of part of the stat block. Crit chance, that is your physical crit chance. I do believe. Hang on. You know what? Actually, let's test that out. So if you want to do anything like testing like that, you can see my crit chance 3% on my main hand. Physical crit chance 0%. Magical crit chance 2%. So already we can see that that does not apply to your full crit chance. So your crit chance, if there's things that say modify crit chance period in the, like for example this, the Magic of the Eternals, which you'll get at level 8, increases critical chance by 3%, 5%, 7%, blah, blah, blah. That is everything that you do has its own crit chance. That will increase all of them. But on weapons, typically it refers to that weapon specifically, unless it's at the bottom in the when wielded worn, spell crit chance applies to your spells. So there's different kinds of crit chance that you want to pay attention to. I don't know if that's confusing. Maybe that's something you put aside for now, but just be aware that it's there. And a lot of these stats, I agree with you, it's intimidating because like most of these stats you don't care about as a given class. And then if you were playing a melee class, you wouldn't care about a certain other portion of these stats. It's just, I don't know, they just blurted everything out. That's all I can think of. So I'm not apologizing for the game. It is clunky, but it just that's how it is. Okay. Now we're more into meta things a little bit. You encountered ingredients in your playthrough so far. And that is a thing where I feel like they had plans for it, but it didn't really go beyond a certain thing. These really are only useful for this one quest that you pick up. That is, you help out these alchemists make these potions. I won't spoil too much. I don't know like how much of the lore you're looking to get into, but see, I'm used to using the mouse, so I'm not. Excuse me? Oh, okay, because I can't see the rest of my screen, so it's not actually the buttons. I think it is 7. Yes, okay. But yo, so do I do that? No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna put you through that. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? I'm looking for the map. Oh my god, this shortened screen size is really messing with me. I'm looking for the. Okay, there we go. Looking for the stairs out. So yes, items or quests. Sorry. So we're out of the dungeon. I'm sure you've seen this before in your warrior run. The alchemist quests you encounter, some of them are here, or one of them is here. I'll just show you where you can. I mean, it's not spoiling too much, but the text you might want to read yourself. But like you'd talk to this door here. There's not that many doors that are not shops, and if you interact with them, usually there's something there. Not always, but usually. So there's one in there. There's one. There's one in a lot of the cities. I'll let you explore that one, because it's not really time restrained or time sensitive. But there are two that I want to mention on the topic of quests, because this one I do believe is time sensitive, and it's a bit of a pain. Okay, as you wander in this area, you have to wander until it triggers. It's a bit of a pain. You will get this pop up, and then you can do this, and it's a bit tricky, the fight that comes up, but you know that, just so you know. And again, I'm not trying to spoil anything. Really, it's the fact that the game will not tell you that there's a point before which you need to do this, otherwise you're locked out of doing it, and the things that it gives you are kind of, I would say, very important. And in this town of Dearth over here, there's a dude over here. He says, hey, you come here, and you go there and you talk to him and do the thing. I'm not going to say what it is. I'll let you figure out most of that stuff from here on out. I just wanted to let you know that, because this one you have to do before level 14, because things happen and it becomes unavailable after that point. And you get a fairly sizable reward out of it, so it's worth doing it. And if you don't know about it, it can feel like a bit of a kick in the whatsits to find out about it later. And then this one, I don't know the level cap. Actually, I don't. Maybe there's not a level cap for this one, but it is a thing that you might want to do earlier rather than later. Okay, and in this city, that's the last thing. This is just kind of meta stuff, because you're unnormal. I don't quite know. I tend to play more on Nightmare, and I've just unlocked Insane. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying, you know, I'm pretty good player. No, I'm not a good player. But so I don't know how essential this is really. Like, because I've done runs usually with classes that start with these abilities, so that I've never quite done very well with a caster that has had to unlock it or not, right? But basically, I don't have enough money for it even. In this town, you talk to this guy or any of these shops that are like martial weaponry stuff, you can get training. They can teach you combat techniques for 50 gold and bows and slings for 8 gold. Probably won't use bows and slings unless you start with it, but for 50 gold, usually you get. Can I finagle 50 gold? No, I cannot. That's just 1 gem each. Okay, I cannot finagle 50 gold, but what you get are talents that will appear somewhere up here that are kind of armor and weapon stuff, generic sort of martial stuff. If you find it hard to survive at some point, it might be worth looking into boosting a bit of strength, not for its own sake, but for qualifying for heavier armor. And that's how you would get it as a mage, is to talk to these fellas and unlock the talent that lets you wear heavy armor. That's how you would get it as a mage. And heavier armor needs strength. And then there's light armor, which includes robes. You can stick in robes and have a defense bonus. But yeah, boost some dexterity just to qualify for the defense bonus talent for wearing light armor, and you could do that as well. Just so you know, it's available, because it can be tricky to survive later on. Like you did notice that it's contrary to other roguelikes. This game has a weird curve where, like, in the first few levels, everything feels super easy, but then it rapidly gets to like, okay, I gotta respect this. It's gonna one shot me or something. Yeah. That made me think of something else, but I already feel like I'm taking up a lot of your time. So what was it? If I don't think about it in like 5 seconds, I'll just move on. I'll mention it somewhere else. What was it? It's been 5 seconds. I'm cheating. Okay. Anyway, so hopefully that helps. Yeah, that's it. Hope the visual component of this helped a little bit too. And I look forward to seeing the rest of the series. Have a good one.